Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And Star Trek Picard Season 2 ends with the 10th and final episode for the season, Farewell. And well, we're done with it. It was aired on Thursday, released on Thursday, and I watched it yesterday in the afternoon. And what was the whole point of this season? I don't really get it. This is, to be honest, I can't really fault the performance. The actors are actually doing a fantastic job, considering that they have such rubbish in a lot of cases to actually go through. We learned that the farewell is basically because Q is dying, and he did all of this to show Picard that he deserves to be loved. He deserves to have another chance. He deserves to have love in his life. Seriously. Oh boy. So when this episode starts, our team, Talon basically gives them something like a hand transporter so that they can, something of their of her group, which is the travelers, the supervisors, and so they split into two. Initially, it's supposed to be because Bogati or Jurati as the Borg Queen, mentioned that they have, for this to succeed, there must be two Renes. One will lives and one will die. Talon is the one who actually understands what the thing is all about. So she gets in her mind that she knows exactly what she needs to do. So she's going to go and meet Rene Picard, and she decides to go alone, but Picard, Jean-Luc joins her, and they go to the launch of the spaceship. The remaining three, they go and they try to stop Adam. So they manage to track. Excuse me, I need some water. They manage to track his place, and he's not there. He's actually at the launch, and they find that there are 4 drones that are equipped to actually go and destroy the spaceship, and they need to stop them. Raffi is tasked with trying to do that. She manages to get the first 3 are released, and then they manage to finally get the 4th one to go and destroy the other 4 drones. So that is actually stopped. At the launch, Talon says to Picard, "I need to do this. I've been there trying to help Rene. That's my whole purpose in life. So I am going to do this." So she approaches Rene Picard, disguised as a member of the staff, and then she goes and lets her know that I have been there for watching you. I've been there watching you throughout your life. She tells her about a certain instances about them having met when she was like 10 years old, and then she realizes that this is somebody who's been looking out for her. And then she uses some kind of device, we get to see this a little later, some kind of device to have her face, to have the face of Rene replicated onto her, and then she goes and approaches Adamson, who is there as a dignitary, and then he starts insulting the staff. That didn't make any sense at all. Why would they even take it from him? And then she actually goes and tells there's this crazy woman who says that she's been behind, she's been my guardian angel, something like that. And then he says, "It's all right, my dear, I'll take care of it." And he touches her on the face, moves her to one side, and then she stumbles and falls. And it's actually he reveals that there is a toxin on this fake skin that is there on his hand. He removes that and says, "You're going to die," and then he leaves. Picard finds her, and then we realize that is actually Talon with this face mask thingy. Didn't make sense at all. It's like absolute drivel. Picard and they talk. She dies, and everything is now set. So they finally meet up with Q, and Q tells him all this stuff, and he says as his final act before he dies, he's going to send them back to their future where things are going to be set. They have stopped everything, And there is, I will tell you this, one of the two main things that I really loved was the fact that Picard and Q hug, and he tells him like, I don't want you to die, like, so he doesn't die alone basically. He tells him that was his kind of fear. Even gods have favorite, that's what he says. So he's been doing this for Picard. What a way to do it, by the way. Anyway, so that was really touching though, to see them, both of them, long time adversaries, but the two actors who I absolutely admire and love, John Delancey and Sir Patrick Stewart. So he's sending them, but Rios says he's not joining them. He's staying back in 2024. He joins with his hot doctor that he's doing tonsil tennis with, and of course they get married, and what's his name, Roberto, something like that, and the boy, and of course he probably adopts him as a son. They go back into their present, which is the future, the 25th century, and Picard goes and keeps the key that he had, which is basically to open where the doors that finally lead to his mother getting killed, but he decides he'll go and keep it because he can't really change that. He goes and keeps it in the same hiding place that he found it, and then he goes and so the I forgot. They actually go back to the point on the Stargazer, and that is, sorry, I missed that point. The Borg Queen, of course, is Agnes. Agnes is there actually, so she reveals that she the reason why she needs to tap into their systems is because the Borg shield and the shields of all these Starfleet vessels need to be harmonized together, because there is a galactic event that's going to happen. It could destroy a lot of planets, so therefore they use that as a shield just before it collapses. It is fired up, and before the event happens, and they're able to deflect the force of it, and things are saved. And then they go back. Elnor is back. That is one of the surprises which Q said he has in store for them. So now, but Rios is not there, so it is just Picard who takes over the fleet. At that point, they say goodbye to Jurati. Jurati says the Borg, which is now a much malevolent, much more nicer Borg. They ask for admission to the Federation, and they want to stay back and monitor the situation of that particular cosmic event. So then they say bye to Jurati. They go back, and then you see that was a car outside, a truck, I guess, and then you see Picard the event that I said, sorry, is before they go to the future, about him keeping back the key, and then you see them having settled back into Earth, and they go and see Guinan, Whoopi Goldberg back as Guinan again, and then they talk about the things that they actually met, and then he asks about Rios and the doctor. So he tells that they started some clinic for helping a lot of poor and needy, and therefore they got married. They had a nice life, and Rios finally died in a bar fight with a cigar in his mouth. And Ricardo, the boy, was so the whole point was the Rene Picard on the mission. They find on the planet that they travel to, they find I think it's an organism that can actually eat the dirt and dust or something like that. I forgot how to put that in, but anyway, that actually helps them to clean up the atmosphere, clean up the seas and all that stuff. So he basically goes and is part of that mission to actually take care of the ocean and the atmosphere. So they did lead out good lives, and that's what they want to see. Picard has a drink with Elnor and others, like a celebration of them coming back. You finally get to see, and I suppose people were very happy with that, Seven and Rafi kiss. I think I mentioned this before. Rafi is my least favorite of the cast members. I just didn't buy her. I hated every time she said JL. It was like so ridiculous for her to call him that. It's like really dumb. And I actually heard the actress says I call him Peace Stew or something like that. What rubbish! I mean, like she really doesn't. I don't really like the character at all. I don't really like the actress either now. Now having heard that she actually calls him Pat Stew or Peace Stew or something like that. What rubbish! Absolute nonsense. And then they with Elnor, they have a nice moment, and then Picard goes back to the to his chateau, where Laris is actually planning to leave, but then he just tells her about that he wants her to stay, and he decides to give there a second chance. He's asking for a second chance from her. That's where the entire thing ends. You don't even see them getting together. You don't see them kissing or anything like that, but there ends the season, there ends the episode, and I must say that, yeah, the writers are terrible at this. They're terrible at Discovery, they're terrible at Picard. Especially when I compare, like, they couldn't get somebody who has done work on DS9 or even Voyager or Enterprise or TNG. I mean, I'm trying to compare the things that they've episodes that I've seen before. It's a very thin story. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Am I missing something? Manufactured 2, Renee's Mystery, rubbish. Yeah. So, anyway, so now Q is dead. So we will never get to see Q again, maybe. But in this kind of era, I guess we can see. Maybe they might decide to bring him back. Anyway, from what I know, this season you will not get to see Agnes anymore. You will not get to see Rios because he's back to the past. Elnor is also not going to be there. You're only going to see Raffi and Seven in season 3, and then you get to see the cast of TNG returning. So you get Michael Dorn, you get all of them, Worf, Deanna Troi, Riker, all of them coming back, which is absolutely wonderful to know. And I that was actually wonderful to hear. But Picard, the series has been a big disappointment for me. I'm actually thinking that season 1 was actually probably had a story. This one was, I don't know, was like not the best. Especially when I'm going to compare it with the other Star Trek show which just started, and I'll do that review next. But if I want to, now I'm going to change my review for the entire season. I have decided I need to change as a season per se, as a storyline for this season. I'm actually going to give it a 6 out of 10. The first couple of episodes were great. Episode 3 was also good. Shame. It's a big shame because I love Star Trek. All of us Star Trek fans are, because we love the shows. I want to see everything about Star Trek, even the fan shows. Some of the fan shows are better than this, and better than Discovery, by the way. So, anyway, yeah. So until next year, when they show season 3, which will be the final season, and I'm guessing that Picard is going to die at the end of that. At the end of that season, kinda, is what I actually think. Sorry, I'm yawning in between, but yeah. Until then, I'll be reviewing all the episodes for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is first episode is going to come immediately after this, and then I'm probably going to start I'm pretty going to start my rewatching of other shows very soon, of the Star Trek shows. maybe once in a while I might do an episode review of something that I really love. I've been planning this for a long time. I think I started planning this back in 2019, but I never got down to it. But I haven't really been watching much of the other shows. I did watch Enterprise, but somehow I didn't actually do any of the any episodic reviews. But I will try to do some as I'm going along. Thank you guys. It's been a blast, but the show wasn't that great. Thank you. Oh yeah, I forgot two things about this episode. That's how disappointed I am with this episode. One, Wesley Crusher. We actually get to see Wesley Crusher returning to Star Trek after such a long time. So the traveler that he is, if you remember his fate in TNG, he is part of the the supervisors and the group. That's his organization. So he comes and recruits Kore to join him. Kore, meanwhile, has been doing some work. She actually destroyed she hacked into Adam Sung's computer and deleted all his files. But then
Here's something I found on reference.com.
Oops.
To delete files from your computer, follow the
So, sorry about that. That happens because instead of Alexa, it is actually... Alright. So, she hacks and destroys all the files in his system. And after that happens, he takes from his drawer a folder called the Khan Project, or Project Khan or something like that. So, yeah, okay. And that actually felt very cheap, to be honest, but we do know that the eugenics war and all that stuff is part of this reality, and anyway, so that's that. But it kind of looks like, sometimes to me it feels like the Kurtzman Trek, they actually want to do tick, like, hey, you remember this, right? In Discovery, you remember this, you remember this. It's like a lot of tick marks to bring back your memory, Trekkie's memories, to the stuff that we love. And then, like, hey, remember that? That's mentioned over here. It was so obvious in Discovery when they did it about the Kobayashi Maru and all those things. So I don't know. That's what, there's something wrong with the people behind this. I really would like to see them change and bring back people. Kurtzman should be going off, and there should be other people involved in it. Yeah, that was that. And the last thing I do want to mention, what was that? Oh yeah, sorry, those are the two things. So that's basically it. So now I shall say goodbye for sure. Good night for sure, and I'll do Strange New Worlds pilot episode review immediately after this. Thank you.